And I'm back. What I'm doing here today is I'm going to try and repair the air conditioning system on this 2008 Mazda 5. Now this will be a very similar process for most vehicles. So what happened was I got in here and the car had sat for a few months. So when I got in, started it up, put on the air conditioning, it's blowing warm air. Okay, nothing's happening. Okay, so there's a couple things I did first. There's a fuse box over here, and one is for the air conditioning controls, and that fuse was good. Yeah, little fuse box for the cabin on, different vehicles is in different spots. Often it's on the driver's side, under the dash somewhere. On this car, it's over here. Okay, and there's a legend usually printed on the inside of the cover, and if not, you can look in your owner's manual or look it up online. And I'm looking here and I'm seeing AC 10 amp. Okay, so that's the first thing I'm going to check is that fuse, and it is this one here, the red one. And I did pull it out and look at it, and it was continuous, no breaks in the fuse, looked good. And if you're in doubt, you could put a brand new fuse in and try it that way. But that fuse checks out, and that would be for the controls on the dash and sensors and stuff like that. And then we'll go underneath the hood and take a look at the relay in a second. So under the hood, most vehicles will have a master fuse box. It can be in different positions. Okay, so there's a legend on the inside of the cover. And check here and see if there's anything for AC. That would be in the smaller fuses here, and then the relays are over here. And I see that there's the fourth one down in the second column right here, AC relay, which is 1, 2, 3. This one here is the AC relay. Okay, so we're going to take out that one for AC relay. And what we can do is we can find, very often, that the other relays are identical. So what you can do is you can read the numbers on it, on here, and then just look for another relay for some circuit that that works, okay? So in this instance, what I did was I took out this one here, which is for the rear window defogger, and I had confirmed that circuit worked, all right? And then I checked the numbers on these relays, and they were both identical. So what I did was I swapped the one from the rear window defroster into where the AC relay goes, and I still didn't have the compressor turning. The compressor was not moving, and I'll show you that in a second here. Just to confirm, with the engine now running, we're going to turn on the air conditioner, turn the fan on. Okay, so the air conditioning should be blowing cold right now, and it's blowing warm. And we've already confirmed that the relay is good, and we confirmed that the fuse in that other panel is good. Now, we're looking down there, and you can see where the light is shining on those lugs. That's the clutch for the compressor. And the compressor's not turning, and should be, because there's a demand for cool right now. So there's a number of things that could be causing that clutch not to turn, okay? And, okay, easy is the power. So we've confirmed that the power is getting there. We've got the fuses checked. The air conditioning switch is on. Now, there's a wire that goes to that clutch. That could be the problem, okay? Maybe the wire is corroded, the connections come apart, or it's corroded. So that could be an issue that is keeping the compressor from turning. But there's one way we can tell if the compressor is good, and that is we can jump the relay, okay? And I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take out the air conditioning relay. So it's these two terminals here, and they should be marked. On most vehicles, it's 30 and 87. They're labeled 30 and 87. And then we just take a short length of wire, okay? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump those two terminals with this wire. The paper clip works as well. All right, so that's now jumped. Okay, so now with that relay jumped, you can see down there that the clutch is turning now. So that the compressor is actually turning. So that proves that the wire going down to the compressor is okay, and that the clutch is working as it should. But what's keeping the compressor from turning with the relay in that we know is good is pressure. So we've got low pressure. There's a switch right back here. See that switch right there? That switch senses the pressure in the system. If the system pressure is too low, meaning if the refrigerant charge is depleted and it's leaked out, it won't allow the compressor to start. And that's what's happening. That's an interlock basically that keeps the compressor from turning and running itself to death when there's no refrigerant in there, because refrigerant and oil circulate through the system and lubricate the compressor. So if there's no refrigerant, very good chance that there's no oil left in there and it can ruin the compressor. So that's a safety thing. But you can see right now, see that's turning. So we're not going to run it too long. So we're going to take this out, okay? And we can look down there and see that those lugs have stopped turning now, so the compressor has stopped turning. All right, so what this is telling us is that the charge is low on the system. All right, so you'll also need to do this if you've got this condition and you need to run the compressor to add the charge. What I've got is I've got one of these aftermarket refrigerants, and we're going to put that in here and we'll show you how to do that.
A few moments later.
Okay, so what I've got here is I've got this aftermarket stuff. You can get this at most automotive stores. There's a different, range of varieties, brands, and things like that. But you want something that's compatible with the refrigerant that's in the car. And most cars these days have R134A. So you want to make sure you have something that's compatible with R134A. So what this is a refrigerant replacement. Comes with a little gauge and a fitting that goes on the low side of the system. And then we also have a can of what I bought here was leak stop. What you gotta do is be very careful with refrigerant. It'll freeze your skin, your eye. You don't want it in your eye, you don't want it on your face. So basically you wanna wear gloves, you wanna wear goggles, and you wanna be very careful. If you're not the least comfortable about using this kind of stuff, take it to a garage and get somebody else to do it. I'm showing you what I'm doing, but I'm not telling you to do exactly this. I'm gonna say, this is how to fix it. I'm not saying that. I'm saying this is how I'm fixing it. You want to try it, it's up to you. But the safest way is to take your car to a garage and get them to do it. Okay, so you'll see these caps for your refrigeration system under the hood of most cars. Sometimes they're a different color, sometimes they're black. But see, this one's got an H on it. That's the high pressure side, so the downstream of the compressor. That's not the one we want. Look around and we see the bigger line. That's the suction line. That's the suction line for the compressor, and it's got an L marked on it. That's the low pressure side. That's where we want to put this charge into. The fitting on the can will only fit on the low pressure side. It won't fit on here, okay? So that's another safeguard. But make sure you put it only on the low pressure side, okay? Okay, safety glass is on. I'm gonna take the cap off of here. All right. So, okay, on this can here, there's a little clip that sits in here when it's at the store. You got to take that out. Okay. And then make sure the can is snug on here. Okay, so I got the can here. And this is a quick disconnect. See, you pull up the sleeve. And I'm going to put this on the low pressure fitting. Now, be very careful. There might be some refrigerant in there that emits. Make sure you have your safety glasses on, gloves on. Okay. All right. Okay. Now I'm going to jump this relay with the wire again to get the compressor to run. Now the compressor's running. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to puncture the can, and that'll let refrigerant. Okay, so now I got refrigerant running into the system out of the can. Hold the can upright. Right, it's taking that can in there. What you got to do is you got to make sure that the can is completely empty before you unscrew it. it's punctured and there's no way to turn the can off. So I feel this can getting cold as it's vaporizing and it's going into the system.
A few moments later.
Okay, now with some refrigerant in the system, you should be able to put the relay back in, and the compressor should run now with the relay in there. And I can confirm that with the relay in now that the compressor is turning. All right, that confirms that it was a low charge. All right, and I see that it's showing up in the blue here saying it's a filled system. But I am going to put in a little bit of this because this only accounts for, it's not a very full can. It doesn't add much to the system. I do want to have a bit of leak stop in there. All right, now that can it's empty. All right. Bring that valve out. Okay, we'll get that off of there. Okay, leak sealer on. Now we're going to screw down and puncture the can. All right. And we're going to back it up. Yeah, I can feel the can getting cold, the line's cold. Shake the can a bit sometimes. I think that's done. I'm going to back the valve up. Unscrew this can. All right. All right. Quickly like that. All right, so I'm going to put that cap back on here. Nice and snug. All right, so we confirmed that the compressor's running. The relay's back in the box, and we've added that can and the leak stop. Let's go inside and see if things have cooled off a bit. It's blowing nice and cold. Okay, I'm gonna keep an eye on that over the next few days, and maybe it needs a little bit more of a charge, who knows, but we'll see. But sometimes you got to add a bit of refrigerant to bring it right up to the top of this charge. And so that's a basic system check. A couple of things you could check for if your AC is not working, and how to add a basic recharge with that aftermarket refrigerant. And there you go. Anyway, that's how that's done. That's how I did it anyway. Like I say, your car, you do it your way if you want. But like I said before, you know, if you're not familiar with this type of work, just take it to a shop and get them to do it. But if you want to give it a try, you're up to you know, you're on your own reconnaissance there. You can try it yourself, but be very careful. Wear gloves, wear goggles for sure. They also sell a little can of oil. So there's a tester you can get to put on the Schrader valve for that pumps out a little bit of refrigerant into a membrane, and it changes color, and it'll tell you how your oil charge is. And if it's low, then I'll add a bit of oil from one of these cans with this same adapter. Anyway, that's how that's done. Thanks for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you again here very soon on Everyday Projects. Bye for now.